Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Claire Fincham. I'm SAPICS's marketing manager. Welcome to our webinar where we are focusing on our small, medium, and small, medium enterprise businesses and some advice for those working in the SME space. SAPICS, for those who are not members, is an industry body focused on supply chain management and operations management and all that entails, from procurement right through to production, logistics, reverse logistics, distribution, etc. SAPICS's mission is to elevate, educate, and empower individuals and organizations in the supply chain space. Please, could I just ask you all to just mute if you don't mind? Thank you very much. And we also we do our mission statement of elevating, educating, and empowering through our events, our membership benefits, our annual conference, and our education program. If you're interested in SAPICS membership, I'll put my email address in the chat, and you're welcome to chat to me about that after the webinar. Before I introduce Bongeni Ndlovu, SAPICS General Manager, he will be hosting the event this afternoon. I'd like to just highlight the fact that our two speakers from Procure Africa and Atara Solutions were in the finalists of our Pitch Parade initiative that we held at our annual conference in June this year, and we opened it up to SMEs to send in their submissions based on some criteria, and these two amazing organizations were in the finals. So we also would like to congratulate them again, and this is an opportunity for them to also showcase the good work that they do and to also help other SMEs in their developments and their assistance. So thank you, everybody, for joining us, and over to you, Bongeni.
Thank you very much, Claire. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everyone on the call. Welcome to this SME session. As introduced, my name is Bongeni Ndlovu, the General Manager of SAPICS, and it's my pleasure to facilitate the session this afternoon. This is one of our sessions that we're hoping to make a more regular feature of our program, which is a session focused on SMEs. So we welcome, in particular, our entrepreneurs, supply chain professionals, and innovators that are on the call. At SAPICS, we're very deeply committed to building Africa's supply chain capability. And today's session is going to shine a light on a reality that so many SMEs face every day: how to do less with more, and how to master business matchmaking and sales techniques in order to expand business development. In an environment defined by very tight margins, constrained cash flows, and the constant need to build relationships to convert sales, SMEs are often forced to be agile, creative, and resilient. Today, we're joined by two very inspiring SMEs, as Claire has mentioned, who've walked this journey themselves. Onyeko Matsebula is from Procure Africa. He is our Pitch Parade winner. And Lehlohonolo Mbishe, who's from Atara Solutions, and he is a Pitch Parade finalist. Welcome, gentlemen. And I'll give you an opportunity to welcome yourselves and give a bit of your presentation shortly. So today's conversation, as I mentioned, is focused on those two key areas: managing limited resources from a cash flow perspective and from a supplier perspective, and turning relationships into revenue through business matchmaking and effective sales technique. We will shortly hand over to our two panelists to give us their insights on these two topics. And then hopefully we'll have 10 to 15 minutes at the end for a question and answer session. I encourage you, as we hear from our two panelists, to put some of the questions in the chat, and we'll have an opportunity for engagement. Without further ado, then, I'm going to start with you, Le Tohonolo Bishe. Welcome, sir. Um, I'm delighted
Thank
to
you so
see
much, my good
you
sir.
again. We had a call briefly recently where we spoke about your company. I'm looking forward today to hearing a bit more about what you do and your experiences as an entrepreneur in supply chain on these two topics. Please go ahead. Sorry.
Afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead. Thank you.
Am I clear? Awesome. Afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to SAPICS for this opportunity. My name is Le Tlofonolomshe. I am the MD of Atara Solutions. What we do, we endeavor to automate processes for the industry within supply chain. But for today, it's not about Atara Solutions. It's about SMMEs. It's about us giving you a journey that we have worked as SMMEs, so that how did we get to a particular level that we are at the particular moment, and want to share some of the insights one has had through this journey. Please bear with me. I'm just going to switch off my screen so that I present my presentation. Just a minute. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, thank you. We can see the screen.
Okay, excellent. And how do I remove this now? Okay. Apologies about that. Okay, I'll leave it there. Today, I'll be talking about leveraging resources and building sustainable sales. I'll try to give a practical SMME perspective, as indicated that I'm an SMME myself. SMME's reality. SMMEs must do more with less. Compliance and sustainability are key foundations for one to succeed. So in this minutes that I have, I'll be talking about, today's focus will be mainly leveraging resources and managing finances, business matchmaking, and sales techniques. I'm unable to remove this. Let me see. Okay, apologies. Okay, all right, I'll leave it there. Leveraging resources and building sustainable sales, a practical SMME perspective. Compliance. We need to understand that as SMMEs, compliance is a resource. Compliance is definitely a resource. Compliance is the foundation of growth. Those who comply attract opportunities. Compliance is not just a cost. It is not a cost. It's a particular resource in our business. So when we look at compliance, many SMMEs see compliance as a burden. I myself used to think of compliance as something that is burdensome, but one over time learns to embrace compliance. Because as you embrace it, you understand that it is not a cost to you or your business, but a resource. Those who comply are the ones who last. They attract bigger opportunities, partnerships, and funding. Think of it as a wheat and chaff scenario. The system eventually filters out those who refuse to comply. A number of SMMEs complain about SARS and labor and all these things. For me, I see it as an opportunity. Remember that when your compliance is at a particular point, you're complying in your particular industry, it means those who do not comply are sieved out, and you are amongst the cream of the crop. You are getting better opportunity because you have recognized that compliance is a particular resource. It is not a burden. Understanding the triple BE ecosystem. I can hear and feel the eyes rolling that people are kind of fed up with triple BE. Some love it, some hate it. But the fact of the matter is, it is here. Whatever our opinions are, it is here. And we need to learn to leverage it. Learn to leverage, not just to comply. As an SMME, learn to leverage this ecosystem that is called triple BE. Not just comply. Triple BE has about 5 pillars, right? But I will focus only on these 3: skills development and enterprise supply development, ESD, and preferential procurement. Now, when it comes to skills development, understand that those who have teams already, if you are not a one-man show, you have a team already, understand that you can use the skills development as a resource, because CETA programs or corporates have the ES program within their corporate, where they have learners. CETA has learners where they can be in your company for 12 months at the cost of CETA, not you as an SMME. Now, you may not have a budget to pay salaries or stipend. So CETA will do that on your behalf, meaning your admin work, your sales, whatever work you want to be done within your company. If you don't have the particular budget, you can use this particular ecosystem that is triple BE when it comes to skills development. These are funded for. Every month they will be paid. You can choose to augment and add on their salaries, but ultimately CETA and the YES program will provide you with this particular learners and pay their stipend. To those of you who are just a one-man show, this as well works well for you. Those who have staff, it helps you empower and upskill your staff. Remember, you need to upskill your staff. So this is another resource that you can do at no expense or no cost to you. Then we have the second pillar, which is enterprise supply development, ESD. Now, a number of SMMEs are sighing right now and complaining that they are perpetually under ESD, being trained under workshops, and not moving to procurement. I understand that. I feel the same way. But as much as if you have a privilege of being under an ESD program, tap into the fact that there are programs, basically many ESD programs provide practical funded support, bookkeeping, accounting, tax compliance assistance. Some even pay for software, accounting software like Sage and Xero to help you manage your finances. Imagine having an ESD partner that acts as your back office team, your accountant, your bookkeeper, your compliance officer. Because you don't have the budget to have an accountant within your business, you can use an ESD program, and some can be 12 months, 2 years, 5 years in a program where they do your accounting, accounts management, your compliance with SARS, your compliance with labor. This can be literally outsourced to an ESD program while you do the things you need to do within your business. You can also automate compliance. Most of you are on a number of corporate databases, and that you get alerts from when a particular document expires, right? So leverage on these. You are not an accountant, for instance. You're not a bookkeeper. You do not know about tax affairs. Use these programs for you to leverage on them for you to grow. When it comes to preferential procurement, now, unfortunately, this is a unicorn. It is very rare for companies to move from ESD to procurement. Those who have done that, kudos to them. But those who are still on ESD, please continue to leverage on those particular opportunities that you have. These are some of the stakeholders within the ESD triple BE space. As an SMME, you need to know these stakeholders. Who are they? What they do? How can they assist your business? Know your SAB, your Anklo, your Edge Growth, your Leparo. Know how to enter into these ESD programs so that you can leverage on what they offer. Leverage, don't struggle alone. Tap into funded ESD support, as I said. Automate compliance reminders through databases that you are on. Let the system work for you as an SMME. Matchmaking and sales techniques. You and your business are one brand. Unfortunately or fortunately for you as an SMME, you and your company are intertwined. You are hand and glove. When people see you, they see your company. For instance, Claire, when she introduced us here, before she knew Atara Solutions, she knew me. Understand that you cannot remove yourself at this particular moment from your business. Understand that you, your business, and yourself are one brand at the particular moment. People buy from people they trust. Build your personal credibility. Be a subject matter expert. Attend client-focused events. Use LinkedIn as a strategy. It is important for you as an SMME to build visibility, your own personal visibility. In other words, go onto places where you can be a speaker. When as an SMME and you position yourself as a subject matter expert in your particular industry, you are called at particular conferences, events, and as a speaker where you are able to leverage your business in those particular conferences and events. Facilitate workshops. Become a facilitator. Because when you are a facilitator in these particular workshops, which will be in corporate, right? You will find staff members sharing pain points. Now you get to know how that particular corporate works, and now you are able to infiltrate or bring your service solution to that particular company because now you are in the space. Now they know you. Attend client-focused events, conferences. Attend conferences, not your peer conferences where we as SMMEs, we meet together but attend specific industry conferences. Join a professional association like SAPICS. It is important because you will leverage these things. Use LinkedIn strategically. Attend events, as I said, where your clients are, not just where your peers are, as I said. LinkedIn is your digital business card. Share your lessons, wins, and insights. It has opened doors for me, connected me to a variety of clients. And also, it has opened doors for me where I am in spaces where I never dreamed of. And this is solely to attending conferences, being on LinkedIn, and you find yourself in spaces where decisions are made. You need to be in rooms where decisions are made about you, about your industry. These are some of the industry associations or stakeholders within supply chain. Whatever particular industry you are in, know who are the stakeholders. Go to their events. Be a member. I promise you, you will gain insights that will propel your business to a different level. Collaboration is the new competition. Partner to grow. Find a mentor. Collaboration beats competition. Understand that when you partner with others who complement your service or your solution, in business, collaboration is key. You are not an island in business. Remember, growth in sales often starts with growth in mindset. You and your business, as I said, you and your business are one brand. People buy from people they know. Build your personal credibility. Focus on long-term relationships. not transactions. When you meet someone at an event, at a conference, don't start pitching and selling your business. Create value. Build relationships, not transactions. In other words, what can you add to them? And even if they're not your direct client, they may know or lead you to your direct client. Deliver value first before you try to sell. Follow up. Document success on LinkedIn, for instance. Sales are the fruits of compliance, and visibility are the roots. If you don't comply in your particular industry, you cannot talk about closing sales. Before you talk about closing sales, can we comply as SMEs? Do not be an island. When we collaborate as SMEs, we are able to get bigger contracts. Sustainability isn't about size, it's about strategy. I always say sales is the fruit of compliance and visibility are the roots, as I said. As I close, remember, sustainability isn't about size, it's about strategy. You can't sell sustainability without compliance, and compliance without visibility is invisible. Thank you so much, and I hope this brought some insight to you, and it was of value. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Hlogonolo. We are virtual, but I do see some virtual hands clapping, recognizing such a great contribution and insights. And I like the way that you've reframed, some of the challenges like compliance into opportunities, and some of the constraints from a resourcing perspective as opportunities to automate and to use the digital systems and opportunities that are available for mastering your business development. So thank you so much. I'm sure there'll be some further engagement with you shortly. At this point, I'd like to hand over to our Pitch Parade winner, Mr. Nyeko Matsebula. Are you still here?
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Bongeni.
Afternoon. Such a pleasure to have you. It's a pity, sorry, colleagues and friends, Unyeko's camera is not working this afternoon. So unfortunately, you're not able to see his live video. But I'm sure he'll make up for it in his presentation. Nyeko, could you touch on Procure Africa and the experiences that you've had from a resource perspective, doing less with more, and from a matchmaking and sales perspective?
I'm looking forward to share my insights and experience when building Procure Africa to be what it is today. Thank you so much for the platform, SAPICS. I really appreciate it. My name is Nyeko Matsebula, and I'm the CEO and founder of Procure Africa, a platform that helps organizations across the continent to simplify sourcing, work more transparently with suppliers, and empower small businesses to compete fairly in the procurement market. So I have a background in procurement. I started as my career as a procurement professional back in 2018, and that is where I saw the gap and just decided to commit most of my years in building a procurement software that is going to help to bridge the gap in technology in South Africa and to also empower suppliers. So that's been my mission for the past 5 years, and it's been really worth it. And I really my face, because as a startup founder, that's literally what we go through every day. I've learned that doing a lot with less is not a survival skill, it's a strategy. It's about using what you have, which could be people, technology, relationships, and information, with focus, creativity, and discipline. But of course, it's been a journey for me to realize and figure out how to utilize these resources as someone who started Procure Africa bootstrapped. So Procure Africa is a company that we founded ourselves without any investors. It's just sweat capital that we brought onto the business. And one thing that I learned to leverage is time. Time is very important when you're building something, especially that is resource intensive, like a software, you know. So time was something that I decided to leverage, because once I understood that because we are doing less, we were doing a lot with less, I knew that it would take more time than if we had the capital. So having resources, I believe, makes things go quicker. Anything that you'd like to achieve, you are able to achieve it a lot quicker than when you have less resources. And I think that's what is going to be the center of my presentation today. And Little gave us a very good presentation, and I think it complements what I'm about to discuss and share with you today. So to do less with more, or to do more with less, I mean, it requires resilience, relationships, and to be resourceful as an entrepreneur. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, you're in sales, for an example, or you're in marketing, I believe that creativity is the center of doing more with less. You have to be creative, you have to think outside the box, and you also need to borrow from other industries. So meaning that you should be more curious enough to go out there, read articles that are not related to your industry, talk to people that are not related to your industry, because I believe that we can learn anything from everyone. You know, there's something, everyone has a gem that they can share with you. So once I figured that out, that okay, no, I can learn from someone who is in the beauty space. I can learn from someone who's in the consumer software B2C space, business to consumer space, and apply whatever principles that I've learned into my business. That's where I knew that I had figured something out, which was very special. So spending time with people, networking, going out to events, mixing yourself up in associations, it does the work. It might not deliver the work, the results the next day or same day. It sometimes takes time. As I mentioned, time is very important if you want to do more with less. So the reality of scarcity that most businesses face, which is limited budgets, limited time, and limited capacity, but yet we have our expectations that keep rising constantly. We all dream to do better than we are currently doing today. We all aim to be better than we are today, you know, so we're all aiming to become better versions of ourselves, and that requires more resources. It requires, you know, while building a business whereby you have limited budgets, it's very important to know what can you spend on that will have impact today, or which will have more impact that will give you the results or the outcome that you need. So on this presentation, I did not go deeper into step one, still step two, what you should do to survive or to thrive while doing more with less, because I know that businesses are different. I'm in the tech space. So while building a technology company with when we started with nothing, you know, zero funding, but we're able to deliver a platform that today has over 800 businesses using the software. We just needed to believe in what we are doing and look into what's currently out there in the market. So for an instance, in the software space, there are products that are called white labeled products. So before I had the capacity and the team to build a solution, what we did is we went out and we found a software that we could white label. So that was now us being resourceful by looking at partnership and collaboration with something that already exists in the market that we can take and bring it into our market and build and sell that product as a Procure Africa solution. That's how we started. That's how we learned the market. That's how we were able to penetrate the market, speak to a particular few people and test, is this something worth building? Is this something worth selling? And once we found the answer by utilizing a white label software that we didn't build, that has already, it was almost 20 years in existence. And we just used that software to go into market, to prove our market. And once we found that, you know what, this is something that we should actually go for, that's when we started building our own software and ended our relationship with the white labeled software. So that is just the mindset that we had when we went to the market, because we didn't have the capacity to build, we didn't have the time, and we didn't have the budget. But once we have tested some test using an MVP or a prototype to see if people are going to buy what you're looking for, or if people demand what you're currently selling. So that type of mindset is what's needed if you need to be resourceful, not thinking about what I can do, but what we can do or what someone else can do for you. Because at the end of the day, if you want to scale, you can't do it alone. You need collaboration. So when dealing with a limited budget, it's not about savings, it's not about cutting costs, it's about clarity, creativity, and collaboration. So the first principle that I'd like to discuss is the Pareto principle, the 80-20 principle, whereby 20% of your actions drive 80% of the impact. So this is something that I've been obsessed with ever since I was interested in venturing into business, because it then helped me to focus, because I love being productive. I love being efficient as well. I believe it's very important that we do not just work, but we are also efficient and we know that we are working smart. So 20% of actions that you would require to be successful in business, I would say it includes self-development. So personal development is very important. So reading of books, you could read 1 page, 2 pages per day, 3 pages per day. But the fact that you're reading, you're working on yourself, you're becoming a better version of yourself, you're eating healthy, and you're also paying attention to the team that you have. So let's say you want to build a successful business. The first thing that you would need is a good team. So having the best people around you is 20% of the work. And that 20% of the work, making sure that you hire the right people, the right quality, will help you to drive 80% of the impact that you'd like to make. So that also brings in the information that you put within yourself. It will help you to also then attract the right people to come and work for you, because you are now that person who can relate and function with people that are high achievers. So that is how I see the 20-80 Pareto principle working. And once we figured this out, we started focusing on mentoring the team, making sure that we engage with the team, we mentor the team, we give them all the resources and learning and training that they need so that they can drive 80% of the impact. So that's one principle that I'd like us to take into account, just to focus on the 20 that will help us to achieve the 80% impact. I might not be able to jump into other industries because I might not know the mechanisms of how other industries would work, but just in basic principles, if you want to become a high achiever, it's just a 20-80% principle where your 20% actions, your habits and practices will help you drive the 80% impact. So focusing on resources where returns are the highest. So for an example, I think this one would be a lot of people would relate to, is you probably have a beauty business, and you can probably sell your beauty items through WhatsApp, and you want to start your business. Most people would want to focus on getting a website first, getting fancy things, because of how obviously the image is very important, how you're perceived is very important, but figuring out that you need to make a sale first is going to be where you can get your highest return. So you can get your stock, go on WhatsApp and start selling using WhatsApp Business, which is much cheaper and easier to execute than compared to starting, a website and getting a fancy email address, which will probably not get any emails anytime soon because you haven't started selling. So that's probably one example that I can provide. So that's the 2080 Pareto principle that has impacted us in a very good way. So building partnerships, not dependencies. As I mentioned, you can't scale alone. You need business partners, you need people with expertise and experience that you do not have within your team. And those people with the expertise that they have are not going to compete with you as maybe the business owner or the manager, whatever role you hold in your business. You need people who are going to be smarter than you, people who are going to tell you what to do, and you need to understand that these people are speaking experience and you have to value their input. So you can't scale alone. That also includes suppliers, making sure that you have the right suppliers that can scale with you as you grow. So suppliers that understand what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. Having meetings with these suppliers is very important. Having a clear communication channel and building a relationship and a partnership with them, not just as someone you buy from, but as someone who is also working within your business. So that's what I would say regarding to the second principle. And share demand, share data, share the risk. So sharing risk is very important, where you know that you are going into a business partnership or a supplier-buyer partnership, but you would need to share the risk in terms of who is responsible for what, because if you want to do everything on your own, then you can't share that risk with anyone. And yeah, that can be a downfall for many businesses. So at Procure Africa, we've built a platform that helps buyers to collaborate with SMEs transparently through requests for quotations, for proposals, and supplier analytics that can be found through our solution. And this helps to create true partnerships that rather than just simple transactions. So when dealing with suppliers, you should vet strategically, making sure that you know who you're getting into bed with, who you're going to do business for the next 5 years, 3 years with. Is this person going to be around when another pandemic hits? How do you know that they're still going to be around? Have you had a sit down with the company owner? What are their plans for the future? I think it's very important to have this insight, especially when you're dealing with a very strategic supplier, a supplier that is key to your business. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about price, but it's about reliability, quality, and inclusivity. Having a diverse supplier database is very important because it also builds resilience. So you might have a key supplier, but you must also have on speed dial your alternative supplier that you can always reach out to when you know that your supplier cannot deliver on a particular day, because it's business, it's unpredictable, and things do happen. So just using a platform like Procure Africa, you're able to then access alternative suppliers that can assist you when your key supplier cannot. And communicate early on and often with your suppliers so that you can manage expectations before problems escalate. That's why it's important that they know what you're doing, what solution and outcome do you expect to deliver to your clients, and can they help you to be consistent with that, because consistency is very important, especially when you're delivering your goods or your items. It should always be top of mind, consistency, because I would love to go to McDonald's and have the same burger that I was having last week because of because I know it's consistency. So communication is important, trust, and having a shared value with your suppliers. A supplier that values quality, a supplier that values technology. You know that, okay, I'm working with a supplier that's moving with the times, that's always looking out for better ways of providing value to you as their client. So having a supplier alliances, strong supplier alliances is very important, and how you manage those suppliers is very important for you to achieve the doing more with less. So jumping into cash flow. Cash flow is the bloodstream of your business. And you can be profitable on paper and still fail if you run out of cash, which is very true. And if you have a very good relationship with your suppliers, you are able to negotiate better payment terms that are going to help you to stay cash flow positive. So having your 30-day payment terms, having your 60-day payment terms with your suppliers, and having relationships with suppliers that trust you, because at the end of the day, you have to earn trust from your suppliers, whereby you can even ask for deferred payments, where people can come and do work for you, knowing that for sure we are going to receive our money from this business that we are doing business with. So it's very important to have cash flow discipline, and also make sure that your account management are always in place. So that's another crucial supplier relationship that you need to have. It's supplier or service provider, but you need to have a good business or a team that can help you to manage your accounts and always keep you on the loop in terms of what's taking place in your business. Are you taking out more money, or are you taking in more money? So it's very important to understand your cash conversion cycles. So with a business like Procure Africa, our lead times are very long. So knowing that our lead times can take around 6 months to a year to close a business, we need to make sure that we always have good cash reserves that are going to help us during that business life cycle where we're trying to close another deal, close another client. We need to know that we have a good cash flow, and we know that we will be able to sustain the business for the long run. So we also recommend that businesses, when they have opportunities, they can also look into invoice factoring opportunities where they can cash in from their invoices that they're still waiting for payment, and also purchase order funding, so that you do not touch your precious money. You rather go out and pay a bit of interest, because you can probably get more money from a short-term financial provider. So doing a lot with less under a financial lens, I would say reinvest early profits in systems and not just PECs. Automate where possible. Use digital tools to save human effort. I mean, AI is transforming how we do business, how we do things. The skills that were required 5 years ago currently are not required, because there's a digital tool that can save human effort. For an example, to put together this this presentation, I used AI. Whereas I would have spent 3 hours trying to decorate, find the right nice pictures, and it helped me to do this within a few minutes. So that's the power of using digital tools, where you do not need to go and hire certain skills, because there is an artificial intelligence that can assist you. Negotiating smarter. So this touchbacks on the longer-term payment terms. Long-term payment terms. It's very important that you have that relationship with your suppliers where they know that you're still a small business and you need constant cash flow. So they can shorten the payment terms with you, where they pay you sooner than other businesses, because you're a small business and your business needs cash to flow and survive, so that you can keep on providing the service and the goods that you provide them. So
Nyeko, I don't want
stretch,
to
simplify, and systemize.
interrupt you too much, but if we could wrap up within 2 minutes so that we'll have 10 minutes for
All right,
questions from the
just
audience.
last two slides.
Okay.
Thank you so about that. So that then brings us to the role of technology, and how can technology assist you with doing more with less. So with a procurement platform like Procure Africa, you're able to do sales without having a sales rep, because there's a platform that gives you leads and you just need to go and respond to it. So, and respond to those leads as a supplier. And if you're sourcing as a buyer who's looking for suppliers, this is also a solution that would then help you to do more with less, whereby you have a procurement platform that serves as a procurement assistant. You can just go load RFQs that you'd like to do on the platform, and within 3 minutes, done and posted, and you're already waiting for feedback from multiple suppliers that you didn't have to reach out to manually. So from scarcity to strategy, scarcity is not an excuse. Innovation, it's an innovating catalyst. It forces us to be more creative. Just swimming through the deck. So even with technology, relationships still needed. They're still needed because they help us to build resilience. They help us to tap into different minds and experiences that help us to win. And if you'd like to learn more about us, you can visit us at our website, procureafrica.co.za, and hear our contact details and email. Thank you so much for giving me an ear, and looking forward to your questions.
Thank you very much, Nyeko, for that insightful presentation. I like the fact that you took the opportunity to not only speak about the strategic elements from building partnerships and collaboration and negotiating terms with suppliers, but also you spoke about the sort of day-to-day time management, Pareto principle, putting your time into things that are impactful. Without further ado, then I'd like to open to the floor for questions. Claire, if you could just let me know if there are questions in the chat. Otherwise, colleagues, could you indicate that you'd like to ask a question or make a comment by raising your hand? What we'll do is we'll take one round of questions, and then I'll ask Hlohonoloo and Unyeko to answer and also provide their closing remarks in their answer. I see Mputi and Juanita Burians. Mputi, come in.
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you, Program Director. I think this was a very insightful presentation from both speakers, Hlohonoloo and Nyeko. Thank you, guys. I come from a space where supply chain plays a very important role in ensuring that businesses are thriving and ensuring, and this is a global phenomenon. But in my space, I'm from a company called SAPICS, Supply Chain Advisory Service. And what I like from the presentation and the themes, the topics that have been discussed today, is that they speak directly to what we're facing on in terms of market penetration, market accessibility, and so forth. I have a couple of questions. I've just added on the chat now as to, do we have any
No, unfortunately, we won't have time for a couple of questions there, Mputsi.
Yeah.
What is the most burning question that you can ask?
Yeah. No, I'm getting there to get a solution from you as to
Yes.
a central place where we can send
Okay.
these questions.
Yes,
That could
absolutely.
be also responded on.
Yes.
I'm in a space of township economy development, and the challenge is what the two presenters have placed here. The challenges are right in front of our face. As an advisory firm, I would like to engage more even after this platform or after the presentation. If we have a central place where we can send
Yes.
questions, maybe you can share that with us.
Absolutely. So for our SAPICS members, there is a platform called GlueUp, which is the SAPICS LinkedIn, where there's an opportunity to network and connect. And we will also share the slides with the contact details of both presenters. But thank you, Mputsi. Juanita, you had your hand up. Please come in.
Hi, thank you. I must really commend your presenters on the presentation. I've got one question for Nlondo, and then also I just want to clarify one thing as well. Firstly, I want to know, I'm curious to know, how do you leverage on the enterprise supply development? And then you probably saw my comment in the chat. I know I work with a lot of SMEs, and I do their WSP in workplace and discretionary grants. So we just need to clarify that yes, they can apply for discretionary grants, but we just need to alert them that is also at the discretion of the seater. Because that's why when I do my apply for discretionary grants, I always tell the SMEs, if you want 8 or 10 interns, we normally request more, because the seater normally doesn't give you what you want. Yeah, and then the last thing that I want to know if I could be provided with the presenters' contact details, because I'm also on the education committee of the Institute of Business Advisors of South Africa, and I would definitely like to utilize their presentation for that purpose as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juanita. So we will circulate the presentations with the contact details. And of course, you would need to get consent if you want to use any of the documents, or else invite them to the Institute. But Letlo Honolo, you spoke about the use of ESD, or enterprise development. Do you want to reflect a bit on that, and how it can be accessed by SMEs?
Not a problem. Firstly, I agree with regards to the discretionary grant. So the purpose of me is just exposure for people to know that there is something like this, but then obviously you need to comply with certain measures for you to receive those particular learners. But leveraging on ESD, generally speaking, your revenue per month needs to be, for instance, I don't want to punt any particular institution, but generally speaking, you need to be making about 10,000 in revenue per month at least, right? So within that, you will receive mentorship, coaching, compliance. People will look at your business overall, analyze your business to see where you at, where you're going. But ultimately, you are able, literally, there's gems of ESD out there, quite nice ones, where literally they will do every single compliance that you need, from UIF to SARS to accounting to bookkeeping to management accounts to your trial balancing account. So there are institutions or ESD programs that will assist you overall, and some, unfortunately, will be stuck there doing nothing. So there is ways to leverage it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions, Claire, on the chat?
There's one more question from Agnes. What is our end-to-end supply chain visibility and how do we monitor it?
So I think the question is, Agnes, do you want to clarify? Are you confident enough to come online and just clarify, when you talk about the visibility, are you talking about the visibility of your own business or the visibility in terms of the insights from the sector, which the panelists have spoken about? Agnes? Is Agnes? Okay, Agnes might not be confident enough to come online. But Nyeko, so if you could just reflect on that. Obviously, there are two sides of that. The one is the visibility of your own business, and then the other is the visibility or industry insights. What are your reflections on how you have been able to achieve better visibility?
Okay, so visibility within the supply chain, I think it's big. Just knowing your company internally, what you need to get your business flowing, because obviously your supply chain as a business is going to be different from my supply chain. And having visibility, it's knowing who are your suppliers, what are their lead times, and how do you guys communicate. Having a system, a software in place is very important for those reasons, where you can just have a solution that can help you monitor how you're currently spending, who you're spending from, and how are they performing. And the last mile, if you're doing any deliveries, not knowing what your question is, how it's based, but knowing that your suppliers or your suppliers are nearby, your buyers are also accessible using your delivery means, so that you can have that end-to-end supply chain. But yeah, I think this question is too vast for me to pinpoint it the way I would like to answer.
No worries. But thank you for that. So we have run out of time, colleagues. It's 1 minute to 4 o'clock. As part of the Pareto principle and time management, we wanted to make sure just to give you an hour of insights, and you can keep the conversation going with the panelists through their presentations. Thank you so much to you, Nyeko Metsabula, for your presentation on behalf of Procure Africa, and Letloho Nolo Pashe on behalf of Atara Solutions. Thank you to the team, Claire, Connor, for organizing the event. Thank you to all of you, the audience, for being such a good audience and participating well. Hope to see you next time as we make these SME engagements more regular. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.